Okay, longer than normal starting soon time because I had to set up a couple of things, but it's all set up now. Rest of the stream should be going smooth. But so originally I was considering just doing Warriors All-Stars today to get a bit more grinding done on it. But over the weekend I ended up doing a lot of it. Enough so that Sophie is now almost maxed and Arnis is pretty close. Well, actually, no, she's pretty far away, but still made progress is the point. So instead, today I'm gonna do more Castlevania. Specifically, both games that had Sonia Belmont. I wanted to do them back to back because one of them isn't even a full game, it's just a demo. I'm going to be playing Castlevania Legends first, which is the full game. I've heard generally mixed things about this one, but I've overall heard it's a lot better than Adventure, at least. And then Castlevania Resurrection, which is the unreleased canceled demo. It leaked online around like, I think 2021, somewhere around then. But sorry, still checking a few minor things. It leaked in, I believe, around 2021, 22, somewhere around that. But it is not a full game. It is just a demo, a very short demo as well. That's gonna be like a 20-minute thing. The stream probably won't be super long, because Castlevania Legends is a Game Boy game. I can't imagine it's gonna be longer than like an hour and a half, considering that both other Game Boy games I was able to do into one stream. So yeah, this will probably be a short one. After this game though, I still have a few Castlevania games left. I'm not quite done yet. I haven't run out quite yet exactly, but I still don't have a ton of them to go. But I think the next stream will probably end up being Castlevania Chronicles, because I'm very excited for that one. I just kind of wanted to get a few of the side ones out of the way first, because that one's just a remake of Castlevania 1. I've heard it's a very good one, a very, very difficult one, but a good one nonetheless. So that'll probably be next stream, but for now, we have Castlevania Legends. And let me pull it up really quickly. And actually get it on stream as well. Okay. That crunchy Game Boy music. Fantastic. So I believe this is another one that has kind of limited continues. I'm not sure what the difference between standard and light mode is. I would assume light mode is just easy. I guess standard is normal mode. But this was a really late Game Boy release. So much so that I think this came out in like... Actually, I'm gonna look it up really quickly. I think it was like 2001 or something. Okay, no, it was 1997. Still very late for the original Game Boy though, not even color. And I've generally heard this one is pretty alright. The biggest complaint I've always heard is that it's very easy. I've heard this game is one of the easiest in the entire series. Mostly because there is an extra mode called, well, not mode, but an extra kind of ability called burning mode. And it's apparently like really fucking easy to just break the game in half with. And it seems that like a lot of Castlevania games I can just run past the bats in these long corridors. Okay, these though, does actually come down at me. I'm gonna be honest, I think this may be the worst rendition of Vampire Killer in my opinion. Does not sound great. That Game Boy Crunch does not fit it super well. Yeah, I guess the whip upgrades, including the projectile one, does carry over. It is still here from the other games, which I guess makes sense. But I'd always heard that this one was relatively disconnected from the other Game Boy games. Like, not too story connected, at least compared to other Castlevania games in general. However, I know that Sonia Belmont is technically not canon now, but was originally intended to be the first Belmont, which is really interesting in my opinion. But gameplay-wise, aside from that, I've generally heard this is barely disconnected from the other Game Boy titles. So far, it is definitely pretty easy though, as I've been told. It is obviously still the first stage, can definitely pick up, but even for a first Castlevania stage, this is pretty simple. Oh, and you have a lot of life in this game as well. You take so little damage per hit. So, oh, this isn't even the intended method. This is just a side path. Okay. Yes, I go down, and I can still slide down the ropes just like in 2. I wonder if they brought any wall meat or similar hidden secrets in this game, because I don't remember very many, if at all, being in Belmont's Revenge or The Adventure. Very possible that I'm wrong though, and they were there, I just never found them. I have no clue how to activate burning mode though. So far I definitely don't need it, but it would be an interesting thing to test out, since I know it is a thing of this game. It's a secret trap. I know I said that you don't take a lot of damage in this, but clearly you can. I'm not sure if that's just like an infinitely respawning wall of enemies or what, but I guess I should probably avoid it. Yeah, so far, even aside from that death trap, it's definitely pretty easy so far. Enemy placements are all pretty easy to deal with. The screen crunch isn't really that bad, which I guess it wasn't too bad in the other games either, but it does mean that you can see things coming surprisingly quickly. Enemies are all very slow. If you fully upgrade the whip, you do get a ranged attack as well, which is very useful. not sure where exactly to go from here. Since there was a wall over there. Oh! Wow, second death. Let's hope that there are infinite continues. I doubt there are. I feel like this is going to be a game where if I get a continue, I go back to the beginning. But if I end up losing all of my lives in the first world, I don't think it's that big of an issue. I can restart the game from this point. I didn't know that one would drop down. I assume the actual progression path is just up that road, but I do want to get the axe beforehand. If I remember correctly, from what I've heard about this game, the sub-weapons don't actually do much, I don't think. I think they're mostly like, I think you need them for the true ending, I believe. There's something with them that's not like traditional Castlevania sub-weapon stuff. Okay, I guess it's not there though, since I died. Oh well. That is a not fun jump. Oh shit, another death trap. I'm guessing it's always going to be the light handles. I don't really know what to do about this. I guess I just revive, maybe for a certain amount of time. Maybe that's all I have to do. I don't know what exactly the point of the Okay, no. They aren't infinite. They do go away eventually. It just takes a while. Fucked up that that still counted as a hit. They'll hit me from that far away. I feel like I should probably restart the game at this point, assuming that your lives you do not get multiple continues, assuming. I think I'm gonna go ahead and do that. Activate this, just jump in the hole. just to see, first of all, if I do actually get multiple continues. And if I don't, then... Okay, no. I do get multiple continues, luckily. Oh, and they are incredibly nice. Not even the beginning of the stage. Why did I go down here? Yeah, you just jump in the hole. These are very annoying to enter. But... yeah, I guess the continues are just lives. I don't know what the point is in having a distinction between lives and continues in that case, but... interesting, I suppose. Need my upgrade whip or I'll die. Okay, there it is. Nice, nice. Oh my fucking god. Game is pretty, like, easy, all things it's a pretty easy game, all things considered, but doesn't mean it doesn't still have some occasional dickish enemy placement and Game Boy limitation stuff that makes it a little bit annoying to fight certain enemies in some platforming sections. I assume I'm probably either at the boss or at least near it, considering they're giving me this many candles. I just realized I can change direction mid-air. Why the fuck can the Game Boy Castlevania game do that, but not several others in the series? I feel like the bats are even worse to deal with in this game than most Castlevanias, which is saying it a lot. They are very frequently some of the worst enemies, but in this game because they always come from the top and you don't really have any methods of attacking upwards, and you move slower than they do, it's a bit difficult to actually consistently hit them. Also, these stages are surprisingly long. I think I've been on this for about 15 minutes now, which I have died twice. Well, actually no, more than twice. Yeah, full continue them, but... How much health do I have? There's a... Actually, no. Never mind. I thought that was the boss life meter, like in most Castlevanias, but no, I believe that's burning mode. So I was gonna say, like, how much life does this guy have? But I guess it doesn't show you. You just kind of have to figure it out. Okay, now how do I activate burning mode? that attack is not very easy because of how low some of the moves. Guess maybe, yeah, I guess that's probably the best method, is to go up there. If you're not at the lower point of the map. I guess just keep walking. That is a very large hill. I would like to know how to activate burning mode exactly. That would be nice. Even if I don't think it's necessary, despite me dying several times already, I don't think this game going to be super difficult. Most of my deaths have just been to not fully understanding the controls yet. I can walk forward while crouching. Nice. This surprisingly has a lot of extra features, like with the controls, than I would have expected. The crouching while walking, mid-air turning, all of that's here when I absolutely did not expect it to be. Nice. I would like my whip upgrade, that would be nice. Please give me it soon. Be quite helpful. Okay, I guess they only start jumping after you hit them once. Good to know. Oh, and even then, only if you hit them up close. Okay. Pretty easy to deal with, I suppose. I guess the sub-weapon I got from the end of the last stage, I guess, is a time freeze. Nice. And it doesn't use that many hearts either, so this is definitely going to be quite useful. At least in concept. I don't know how useful it will be in practice, since I don't think enemies will be too much of a problem in this game, for most of it. Yeah, enemies do so little damage in this game, but I almost feel like kind of better in a lot of cases to just take a bit of damage, and especially considering how generous continues are, since continues might as well not even exist. You just go back to the same room as you would if you had lost a life normally. It's very strange. I suppose it's not bad, just not expected. I guess there are multiple paths. Nice. There are a lot of retro achievements for this game that feel very arbitrary, like completing it with 450 seconds remaining. I'm not going for that at all, I just happen to already have it activated on my emulator. anything here, or I guess not. Just a side path. Oh wait, no. There's a rope here. I'm very blind. Even though ropes were the most common thing imaginable in the adventure and Belmont's Revenge, despite being so common there, I kind of keep forgetting that they are even a thing. I don't really look for them a lot of the time. If I was having extra attack, I was honestly expecting it to just walk forward and that was it. There's nothing here? I suppose not. Oh, now it's cleared out. Okay. Oh, there's nothing here either. A lot of dead ends and similar pathways in this game. Yeah, just another one of the last rooms. Have to take out this guy, and I assume it'll clear the spikes. Yeah, so far this game is not bad, but it's kind of just nothing. I don't really have too much of an opinion on this game so far. Sort of just exists. Very dull Castlevania game. Incredibly easy. Nothing too interesting. Just kind of exists. Not a bad one, but not a particularly amazing one so far. I am only on stage 2, but since this is a Game Boy game, I assume there's probably only going to be like 6 stages, so being stage 2 is probably still about a third of the way through. They've definitely felt shorter than the last one. I am having way more trouble in this boss than I realistically should be. This is not a hard one in the slightest. I'm just getting very impatient with it. But surprisingly, unlike the last boss, this one does not spawn you immediately in the room. Does crouching not work for that one? Okay, no. Crouching does not work. Good to know. odd how infrequently it's doing the lower one, even though that's by far the most dangerous of its fireballs. Dude, that was all the health it had, really? I thought it was like a third of the way through that fight. That was it. Damn, this game really is easy. Like, I knew it would be. I'd always heard that it would, but I did not expect it to be quite to this degree. This is quite an easy game. I've done pretty poorly, and I've still only gotten one continue, and like 2 deaths, I believe. Well, actually, no, I got a second continue. I forgot about that one. The continues are so hard to memorize when they happen though, because they're so like inconsequential. A continue in this game is no different than losing a life, so it's kind of a bit easy to forget. What's this one? I don't even know what this sub-weapon is. Okay. Despite being a very easy game, it definitely has that classic Game Boy level design, where they very clearly designed it for you to never go back to where you were, or else the enemies respawn. I still have no clue what this sub-weapon is. I'm putting in the input for it, and it's not really doing anything, so I guess I'll go back to this one. Even though it's also not super useful. I sure do love their vertically placed enemies in a game with no vertical attacks. Yeah, I think the frequency of vertically moving enemies despite having no way to attack vertically is probably my biggest problem so far. Because it's like almost every single enemy in this game comes up from the top or bottom of the screen. Almost never the side. Which, I guess you could argue adds challenge, but like this game is easy enough. It doesn't really. It's a very forgiving game, even with all of that. Has very annoying enemy placements though. A cool full life restorer through a fairly short room. I'm assuming this is just a mini boss, not a full boss, since there wasn't like a big climactic intro. I don't think I can go between units. I think I do have to actually go to the very end. That was a very nothing boss. Yeah, so far this game isn't bad exactly, but I would say that in the entire series, this is probably the one that my opinion of is the most non-existent. A very nothing game so far, and it's not even bad, it's just... I mean, it's nothing, it's just... this game exists. It's unfortunate, but that's all I can really say about it. Worry about it anymore. These ghosts are probably the most annoying enemy. It's so hard to hit them. I'm just gonna use the freeze time to get through them. And the gear room already. It's this early. Only stage 3 and already the gear room, huh? Oh my god. Why did it knock me back onto the rope? Okay, nice. Now I can get on the rest of my way. Fucking hell. Just ignoring that one. Oh my god. Why is it placed in such a way where it knocks you back onto the rope immediately? Why would they do that? Need this. 1, 2, 3. If I knew how to use burning mode, I guarantee this game would be a complete joke. It's already not very hard, I'm just playing extremely recklessly because I know that I can just respawn no matter what in the same room, even if I do get a companion. But if I were playing more carefully, this would not be even slightly a challenge. And I assume that burning mode would make it even less of one. I do kind of want to look up the controls of this game just to see, like, how do I activate burning mode? I don't really need it, but it's still be cool to just use it at least once. That is kind of the main gimmick of the game. Again. They love placing the vertical enemies It's their favorite stage hazard in this game. Guessing this is the boss room. Already here. I guess this is death. He has interesting moves, huh? Gotta be his easiest incarnation in the series so far. I say as I immediately die, but you know, that was already a 2 life. Oh my god, I get sent back this far. Fucking hell. Why is this the one area where they actually send you back quite a distance? Actually, I guess it's not that far. I think I mixed up the rooms. To get my upgraded whip. I don't think I will. Yeah, for a game that has so far been incredibly generous with both life and even continued checkpoints, I'm very surprised at how far they send you back for dying at that boss. I mean, for any other Castlevania, this would not be surprising at all. It's just very surprising here. Okay, before I continue, I do actually want to look up what the input is for burning mode, because I do want to try that at least once, just to see what exactly it is. Okay, it seems to just be pressing B and A at the same time. It's not a very difficult input. Okay, yeah. And as far as I'm aware, it just... Oh, it makes me move faster as well. Yeah, I knew it made me invincible, but I did not know that it also made me move way faster. I can definitely see why burning mode is so overpowered, because to my knowledge, it also resets every life. So, very, very easy to abuse, I would assume. Oh, is this just a screen wipe? Yeah, it's just a 5-heart screen wipe instantly is... Well, actually no, not an instant screen wipe, but it does at least damage all enemies on screen. I mean, the screen wipe to those enemies, I guess. Oh, dealing with this is gonna be fun. You know what, fuck it, I am switching to this one. Even though I don't think I have enough hearts for it anyways. Let me actually just damage boost through it. Nope, doesn't work. Gonna have to time it very precisely in order to get that damage boost. Or I guess I could just use burning mode. That's also an option, I suppose. Even if it does feel incredibly cheesy. Mostly because it is, but it is a core mechanic. It is what the game is designed around, even if it's very easy with or without it. Just such an instant, like, win button. The sub-weapons in this game are so fucking overpowered. Well, I don't even need to go through that, I can just run. I don't even have to deal with the platforming, I can just fucking run past everything. I thought that was a projectile, not a specific enemy. I like how they dash forward, but they don't dash forward nearly a long enough distance to like, actually matter at all. Like, they're probably not gonna hit you unless you're already pretty close to them to begin with. Damn, I can't just damage boost through this. Wait, is this a— okay, that's an enemy. That's not just an invincible stage hazard like I assumed. That's why I wasn't immediately attacking it. I assumed that it was just a stage hazard, not an enemy, but nope, technically it is. It takes a lot of hits if you just use the ranged attack only, but it is also the safest way to deal with that, so what I'm going with. Yeah, I'm guessing that all of the lighter colored ones are trapped. Yeah, seems to be the case. I mean, they're still not exactly super difficult to deal with. Oh shit, I just realized I don't have any hearts. I thought I did, it's not. I don't know why so many achievements are getting primed every time I make any move in this stage. It's very odd. Is this just not where I'm supposed to go? I guess maybe not. Or... an invisible wall here, perhaps? Nope. Okay, I guess this is just a detour area. I really need to turn off retro achievements. Especially for games like this. I don't know why there's so many for this game that get primed every like 2 seconds. You do not get a lot of invincibility frames in this game, by the way. It is very odd. I don't know where exactly to go now. If this isn't the correct path, then I'm not sure where exactly is. I'm slightly lost. Which is very odd to say in a fucking Game Boy Castlevania game, but I'm not sure where exactly I go from here, if that top path was not the correct area. Okay, I guess I probably need to go left here instead. That's gonna be my guess. Right there. Of course this guy respawns. You know what? Fuck it. I'll just use burning mode to get through these. I think if I were willing to use burning mode more often than I have been, I probably have already finished this game. I guess that's the mini-boss. Almost definitely going to die very soon. Haven't quite yet. I assume I probably respawn in this room, most likely, since I did complete the mini-boss, yeah. Fucking course. Guess I have to be slightly more patient with these. Oh damn. Activate burning mode. Why does it not want to activate? Okay, there. That is a very weirdly precise input. Okay, get me out of this room. the rest of this very slowly. That is a massive hitbox. What the hell? Okay. Guess I should save burning mode for a bit later. Yeah, unfortunately, like, this game's not terrible, but it's very much a very boring game. Doesn't have very interesting level design at all. It's very easy, at least when you're not playing recklessly like I am, but the fact that I even can play so recklessly is kind of crazy for a Castlevania game. Most Castlevania games, if you play even slightly recklessly, you are dead very quickly. But in this one, it's kind of the simplest way to go through things because of the combination of burning mode and just the very simple level design. Already defeated 500 enemies, what the fuck? How the hell? I get through that many already. Yeah, I'm gonna wait for that to move over, because the hitbox is so massive. Why does that one jump off the ledge, but not the fire one? Strange. Don't know why those keep showing up. I really do gotta turn that off. I don't play with retro achievements very much anymore anyways, so not like I'd be wasting a ton. Stand here looking this guy for the next few seconds. Takes a really long, which makes sense since it is with the range projectile, but it's still kind of crazy. Just how long it is. Sorry, I was getting a spam phone call. I assume this is probably, yeah, this is the boss room. Oh, Talcott. I was gonna say, that's definitely not Dracula, but I don't think it was true, but it is you. Oh god, I could say the same. What are you doing here? Listen to me, Sonia. This is not a place for someone like you. Alucard. This problem concerns only me and my father. I've come to fight the lord of this castle. I cannot let my father, Count Dracula, get away with this. I must do this for my mother, and for the world that she so dearly loved. Please understand. I am the only one who can make amends for the sins committed by my father. And there is no reason for you to get involved in this battle. Didn't expect one more line. Sonia, I could not bear to lose you too. Now, turn back. Thank you, Alucard. You're probably right. In fact, you have always made the right decisions. But I have no intention of going back now. Just as your father was granted strength from the evil deity to conquer the world, I have been granted strength to fight your father. I will not run away. We all decide our own fate. It was you who taught me that, Alucard. This is a really long cutscene for a Game Boy game. Alright, Sonia, then show me this strength you believe so strongly in, or I too want to believe. Let us test this strength on me. Prepare yourself. She was so surprised. Okay, what is it? Give me burning mode. Can I kill him while in burning mode, I wonder? Will he go down fast enough? Fantastic game. The fact that you can do that so, like, just entirely in burning mode. Like, the bosses have a low enough amount of health, and burning mode is just so broken that you can take them out without even leaving the mode is so fucking... so ridiculous. Owie! I had no idea you had become so strong. Oh, Alucard. It looks like this time it is I who have learned a lesson. Alucard, did you purposely? No, Sonia. You have made me believe in your strength. Alucard, I'm so sorry. Do not trouble yourself about it, Sonia. Now, I must sleep. Hunkshu. I fear we shall not meet again. Farewell, my beloved. My beautiful vampire hunter. Damn, I can't believe they were fucking. Alucard, I will never forget you. Farewell, dear Alucard. Such a touching relationship. You can definitely see why this game was retconned though. Because I know that Sonia was supposed to be like the first of the Belmont originally. So for her to not only be the first of them, but on top of that, also have presumably had children, or at least like dated Alucard. It's a bit odd, especially considering this game came out after Symphony of the Night as well. Makes it even stranger. Like yeah, that guy definitely had lots of straight stats, I'm sure. You also don't drop to a fucking, like a rock when you just run off a platform. There's like a surprising amount of like, much later than a lot of the other entries. There's a surprising amount of like quality of life control improvements. Which honestly, I don't think actually improved this game that much. They kinda... I don't think I would notice it even if it wasn't like that for this game. The level design is kind of so simple that it's like, I don't think it would change much, to be honest. I mean, I'm not gonna complain about it being here, but it is something that I don't think changes too much. Yeah, this one's just like a forward attack. I think I'm gonna go back to the time stop. Definitely my favorite of them so far. I haven't really been using any of them too much, but at least of the ones that I do occasionally use, it's definitely the time stop that's most frequent. Wait a second, I'm just not noticing. I did not notice, why exactly is the window on the stream? Wait, no, never mind. I think I see the issue. I think that was just that may just be a me issue. Well, I have a Twitch tab open, but I think it's a bit of an issue for a moment. But I think that's just me, possibly. Let me triple check really quickly, just to make 100% certain. Okay, yeah, it wasn't. No issues. It seems. I was wrong. Yeah, I don't know why my Twitch tab was not loading correctly. Oh, I guess I can't just jump directly down there. Oops. But yeah, I thought the stream was stuck on the Alucard fight, but no, it was just for whatever reason, Twitch on my end was being a bit quirky for a moment, a bit not accurate, as Twitch loves to do. And I immediately I didn't think the fucking like rocks at the bottom, I didn't think those would be things that deal damage, but I guess they are. So good to know, I guess, for next go around. I'm gonna be dealing with my stage 1 rep for a while. I'll go down the bottom half this time. Wait, is there even any reason to actually? Never mind. Looks like there is not. Oh, I guess I don't even need to crouch for that, I assume. Very odd level design in this game. It's filled with a lot of spots that look like they require a lot more effort than they actually do. A game that's pretty easy in general, that's on top of that is deceptively even easier than it seems. So broken. It's so ridiculously broken. And And the fact that it refills not like once per stage, but like after every single life is absolutely crazy. I think that's the biggest thing about burning mode. Like if it was a one-time use, like, okay, you can use this once per stage, maybe use like an end boss killer, or like, you know, there's a section you just really don't want to deal with, then it'd be like, okay, whatever. Still a bit overpowered, but it'd at least be reasonably balanced to a degree. In this game though, it's kind of just, like, insane how simple it is to do everything. You can just use burning mode and get through absolutely anything that you want. No issues whatsoever. I love having the lighter whip only. Definitely quite fun to deal with. Okay, finally I got my upgrade. It took forever, but I did eventually get it. And I'm at 1 life, but you know what? I'd rather be at 1 life with the leather whip, with the... not leather whip, the... chain whip, I guess it would be? I'd rather be at 1 life with it than at 5 life with the leather whip. It is not the most fun to deal with that one. 1, 2, 3. Okay, let's go. Got my upgrade. 1, 2, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. Now things take 10 hits if you're not using the main part of the chain whip. Wow, this is a fun situation at the end. I love respawning enemies. Well, I get burning mode back, so is it really even a punishment? And continues just put me back here anyway, so... I don't know, this game has almost a worse problem than what so when I was playing Castlevania 4 last week, one of my biggest problems with that game was that it was very easy to brute force bosses, mostly because of the way they were designed, not because of any special core mechanic or anything, but I did dislike how they were designed and how easy it was to brute force them. This game has that issue, but like, not just the bosses, and in a very different way. In this game it's because of a core mechanic, rather than individual boss design. But I didn't like how easy it was to brute force bosses in that game. This game you can just brute force everything, because continues don't put you any further back than lives do, to the point where I don't even know why continues are in this game. Maybe you have to beat the game with like no continues in order to get like a true ending or something, I have no clue, but it is the type of thing where it's just very odd, but you get sent back to the same spot you would normally from just a life loss, and you get burning mode every single time you reset life. Not even every continue, every life lost, you get burning mode. So it's just like, if you're having trouble with a room, just use burning mode on it. Get like an extra room or two ahead, and no issue. You've now progressed past where you were stuck. Like it's a very easy game to just kind of cheat your way through. And I feel like in Castlevania, being that type of easy, like another game that was very easy was Rondo of Blood. That game was quite simple, but it was easy in a way that was fun. Like that's probably my second or maybe even first, depending on the day, favorite Castlevania at this point. And that game was pretty easy. But it was easy because it was designed in such a way to where you had a lot of maneuverability, you had tons of options in your kit. It was easy, but in a way that was it felt easy because the game was intentionally designed to be kind of a slightly easier but still somewhat challenging Castlevania game. It never felt like it was super easy to just cheese through everything. This is the type of easy where it's if burning mode didn't exist, if lives didn't send you right where you left off, this game would probably be not super difficult still, but at least normal Castlevania difficulty. At least almost there. Even if only barely. Plus, also enemies do so little damage. It would at least be close to traditional Castlevania difficulty. But you just have so many ways to just brute force and cheese every single room and boss fight. They're not really boring. This game is unfortunately just a very boring experience, mostly thanks to the combination of burning mode and the lives sending you so close to where you left off. Plus these stages, the first stage was pretty long feeling, but this one's not at all. Pretty short. You have done well, my girl. In fact, you are the first human who has come this far. You have my praise. You are the Prince of Darkness. Because of you, many people have died. Many people have suffered. Oh no, my dear. I have merely done what you humans wished for, fulfilling your insatiable desires. People must fulfill their dreams with their own power. You who have been consumed by the power of evil no longer have the strength to determine your own fate. Silence! On the contrary, I am just the one to use this power, and I will be the king who rules over the entire world. Give yourself to me, young lady. There may be merit in having your power, in having your presence. My strength will only be used to protect the world. Lord of Darkness, prepare to suffer for trifling with so many lives. As you wish, girl. Then it is your fate to kneel before my power. But enough of you. But enough, how about you? I forgot the iconic line. Fuck it, burning mode time. Let's see if I can kill Dracula with it even. I assume this isn't the final boss. There's one more stage in the stage select, so he goes down instantly. Okay, that is phase 1. I assume phase 2 is going to be a bit more, but wow, you are a worthy foe. You have lasted much longer than most. Prepare yourself. Oh, I've just been toying with you so far, but now it's time to get serious. Shit, it's the iconic theme song. The iconic Sonia Belmont theme song, Vampire Killer. Oh god, I get sent this far back. Well, I guess it is the final boss. I thought there was one more stage in the stage select, but I guess not. Because I do know that is the final boss. This is the end of the game, so yeah, I get sent back pretty far. Should probably save burning mode for phase 2 in that case, because phase 2 did look to be quite a bit more difficult than phase 1. Yeah, I guess I can just go straight forward up. Oh, come on. That should not have counted as a hit. Now that I'm basically at the very end of the game. Yeah, this game just kind of exists. It's not terrible. It's not as bad as Castlevania The Adventure. Not at all. But it's not as good as Belmont's Revenge in my opinion. Honestly, I'm thinking I may even like Vampire Killer more. The MSX kind of puzzle game. I may even enjoy that more. Just because at least that one was a bit more interesting. This one's kind of just very nothing game. Not terrible, just kind of, I don't know, Nothing. I really have nothing to say about this one. This kind of exists. And I guess I would definitely prefer to play this than something like The Adventure, but I think I'd really rather play, like, pretty much any other Castlevania game, even more. Very, very dull, unfortunately. Yeah, because of those things, it is very hard to maintain a max life up to Dracula. Although I guess I do have the time stop power. It probably actually that's probably not gonna work on Dracula. Actually I probably should have used this ability against the Armor Knight. Probably would have been a much smarter option. I wonder if I have to do the cutscene again. Okay, I do. I'm not gonna read through it all again though. Already did it once. Okay, I guess he just goes left or right with his... Fuck. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to need to get through as much of this early portion as possible without taking damage. Which shouldn't be too hard. It's going to be a little bit annoying though. Mainly because of these Armor Knights. And also bats. Because of course this game is completely filled with bats everywhere in the worst spots. And they only do 1 damage, but there's so many of them that they can absolutely do enough chip damage to cause problems. This area does not. I don't think the Game Boy can quite handle this specific area. with so many enemies on screen at once. Bats are so hard to deal with. Okay, now this is the real problem room. Okay, that attack only uses 1 heart each, so yeah, never mind. I guess I can just do that for those. For the bats, I can just kind of step back a bit. I don't wanna off-screen this guy at all. For fear of having to fight him all over again. I want to take out the bats as quickly as possible. It's gonna do that. Many of these. I get that it's like, oh, it's one last challenge before Dracula, but it's kind of, once you know how to deal with these, it's kind of just a bit tedious, and that should not have hit. That should not have been that big. Okay, I'm already at half health. Oh my god, fucking hell. Way too easy to get hit by those. They have a fucking massive hitbox. But time for Dracula. I don't even know what this one does still, but this one only uses 1 heart, so I'll just use this one for the fight. Goddamn. You get so few invincibility frames in this game. Okay, whatever. I'll just use burning mode. Good. If I can at least keep that enough for a bit of phase 2, then maybe I can get through. Okay, no, never mind. I do not have enough for phase 2. Damn, this is a really annoying fight. Not a very fun one. Oh my god, really? Wow, this is definitely going to extend playtime quite a bit. Having to redo all of these rooms over again. I think if I take even one bit of damage from the Axe Knights, or Armor Knights specifically, not the bats I'll live with, but those kind of are unpredictable enough. I just don't really want to deal with resetting every time I get hit by one of them. But I think for the... well... I think I'm just gonna reset anytime I get hit by them. They do enough damage and are easy enough to avoid that it's just like, not worth keeping on to. And oh my god. They do a lot of damage if they attack you with their sword, but otherwise they do like nothing. You get so much health in this game. Like too much to a point where resetting lives is really annoying. I hate to say it, but this one's not as bad. This one, without a doubt, is not as bad as Castlevania The Adventure. I would rather play this any day over that game, but it's definitely the second worst of the Game Boy Castlevanias. I think Belmont's Revenge was surprisingly good for what it was. Yeah, I'll just take this slowly to wait for them to do that attack. Just fucking goddamn. There may be a decent save point between fucking goddamn. Why are these bats so? Why can I not jump off of this? These bats are so fucking annoying. And there's no healing here. Fucking, what does this one even do? I still don't know what exactly this soul weapon does. But he's gotta do something. He can't just do nothing. Bats are so annoying in this game. Oh my god, that one's a torture respawn. Fucking goddamn. Assume it's gonna do... Yep. Okay. I think it's every 3 rotations it does that. Maybe 3. Oh, it is. Oh my god, it is so fucking hard to predict where the bats are going. So I wanna deal with this to... Fuck it. I'll deal with the extra bat, just to get a few extra hearts. Yeah, again, I don't know what this one does. The second soul weapon, I have no clue what its power is, so it's a bit annoying to deal with. Where are you spawn next? Oh my god, why do you have so few invincibility frames? With that being counted as a hitbox. Still an active one for his wing. Okay, so you can duck under those, luckily. But it's pretty easy to avoid if you can see it coming. Okay, phase 1 done, now I can just use burning mode for the second phase, and should be done with it. Okay, now fucking activate burning mode, activate it, goddamn. Why is the input for that so... Ooh, this is not a very good final boss. Like, I'd be fine with it sending me this far back if I could get my final whip upgrade, but you just aren't even able to do that. You don't get the opportunity for the final whip upgrade. So many of these small peon enemies are just so hard to predict. The bat specifically, the hitboxes on the armor knights are way too fucking big to an annoying degree. It's just not a fun area to go through several times before the final boss. And then once you're at the final boss, it's like, yeah, it's easy, but it's definitely very dull as well. This game so far is just kind of eh. And by so far, I mean the entire game, because I am at the end, so... Yeah, the Dracula fight is kind of not my favorite. Very easy when you actually know what you're doing, but at least phase 1 is. Phase 2 is definitely a lot harder, but I think the biggest thing just comes down to it's too, like, burning mode is too overpowered to feel, like, satisfying to do normally, because even if I did the fight without burning mode, like, it would be kind of fun to learn it, because after learning phase 1's pattern, it's really not that bad. It's an alright Dracula fight, but the problem is, oh my god, fucking take out the bat, goddamn. Ooh, already at half health. Very awesome. But because burning mode is so good, it doesn't, like, I don't feel like I should do it legit. It's a core mechanic, and it's so absolutely broken that it just doesn't feel like I even should do it legitimately. Like, it feels like, oh, this is probably designed with burning mode in mind, but it's just it's too good to be fun. If burning mode were a bit more balanced, to a point where it didn't feel like it was necessary to use it anytime you get the opportunity, then it would probably be a much more fun game as a whole. But burning mode combined with the exact positions, the inconsistency with how far it sends you back per life, like those things all combined kind of make this a fairly... Why is that hitbox so big? Like, that is ridiculously large. God damn it. Already so close to the end. Why did that hit you? Why is that hitbox that big? It's kind of ridiculous. Gonna get hit by that for sure. Surprisingly not. But that I will be. Ooh, fun! Have to do this segment over again. This game's short enough that I don't wanna fucking use save states for the very end. Just because, like, this is an hour-and-a-half game. The stream's only gone on for an hour and 40 minutes. It's not like this has gone on so long that, like, it's become exhausting. I'm kind of at the point where I don't like redoing this over and over this many times. Very obnoxious. And I'd be fine with it if the rest of the game were designed like this, but the rest of this game so far has kind of accustomed me to not Castlevania as a whole, but specifically this game. I've gotten accustomed to getting a revive point at the same room I'm in often, or at least like one room prior, rather than several behind. And so it's kind of annoying having to go this far back every time, and this game did not do that anywhere else. And I'd be more okay with it if it did. It was more consistent about it, but it is not at all. This one's gonna use the battle pack. 1, 2, 3. Pum, pum, pum. 4, 5. Okay, going into it with a decent amount of health. I did still get an extra hit from the bat, so that's not great. I think I have phase 1 down well enough. It shouldn't be too much of an issue. It's mostly just a matter of being a little bit annoying. More so than difficult. The combination of the way too big hitbox for his wing, combined with the... Fuck. Yeah, here's where he spawns. Okay, yeah, phase 1 is pretty easy, all things considered. As long as I can activate burning mode right away, it shouldn't be too much of an issue. I guess I just want that one. Dude, it's too broken. Like, it's broken to a degree that's just, like, ridiculous. Oh my god, fucking cool. So, mid-air control is a thing in this game. It's not very good though. Something I've realized is if you are whipping, you cannot control your jumps mid-air if you are in the process of whipping. So it's like, it exists, but because you're usually going to be whipping, not nearly as useful as it should be. No. Fucking goddamn, of course the bat respawned. You do that. You know what? Fuck it. No, actually. Because that one uses 5 hearts instead of 1, so it's like, too much. Yeah, I guess I can just outright avoid that bat if I go there. Gotta wait for one more cycle for this one. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3. One more bat. Well, one more armor knight plus bat combo. Let this guy do his thing. 2, 3. 1, 2. I can get through this pretty consistently with minimal damage. Not quite 0, but not a ton either. Yeah, I'm fine with using one for that one specifically, just to avoid a bit of extra damage, since these hearts are over here. Miserable little pile of secrets. How about you? It's so hard to avoid that if you end up on the same end. We'll need you to spawn over here this time. Goddamn. Okay. It is very hard to avoid taking damage in the first half just because of how big the hitboxes are. Oh my fucking god, I hate knockback in this game. I think knockback is way worse in this game than any of the console classic Vanias. Like, it's bad, but in this game it feels like a lot of the areas are specifically designed for you to get knocked back directly into. And you could argue that a lot of the other NES games are like that too, but this one just feels way worse. Especially because of how many other, like, quality of life things this game does have. The knockback being so bad is, like, just kind of feels out of place. Like when you have the mid-air jump control, the, so many other extra things. Like, if it felt like a Classicvania, like an NES Classicvania, it'd be a lot more excusable, but it really doesn't. This feels more like a Castlevania Game Boy adaptation of something like, well, not adaptation, but like similar date of creation of something like Round of Blood. Also, already at half health. Might as well restart, but I'm not going to. A very slow portion of the stage. And it's gonna respawn, isn't it? Nope, surprisingly not. I have a few more hearts going into Dracula, even though they're really not necessary. I think I'll give him 2 more full tries, and then I'll just start kind of save state cheating. Just because, like, those last few rooms are so slow and tedious to go through. They take like 4 minutes to get through per attempt. And it's not like it's very difficult, so it's not like I'm losing any of the challenge by doing that exactly. It's so fucking hard to avoid those. Oh my god, really fucking right on top of me? Really on top of me yet again? Oh, it is so hard to avoid those when they spawn from there. Okay, I have basically guaranteed a loss yet again, but whatever. Green. The fireball spawns way lower than I expected it to. I thought it was going to spawn at its mouth, but no, instead it spawns under its mouth. I don't know why that bot spawned so early. You know, I cannot spawn that low. Okay, do your attack. Okay, good. I hate bats in this game so much. for the slowest room in the game. Honestly, one of the slowest rooms in the series. The worst part is it's not even a difficult room, it's just slow. Like, it's the type of slow where it's not exactly a challenge, it's just be patient. Wait for them to do their cycles. Walk back, and do that 4 times in a row. It's just not very fun in my opinion. Okay. Do your thing. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. Probably could get a 4-hit off, but I don't really want to take the risk of extra damage. This one, I just have to... There. This thing just doesn't even hit me. Okay, now I have 10 hearts going to Dracula. Not gonna help a ton. The time stop I don't think works on him. The fire, like the fire one that's a screen hit, doesn't seem to do damage to him either, and that one takes 5 anyways. This one's definitely the most useful, but even then it's really not that good. But very quickly, before actually starting the fight, I am going to drink water really quickly, because I have not hydrated nearly enough this time. I'll be doing that really quickly. Okay, now properly hydrated, time to fight Dracula. My favorite fight in the series. Love this guy. Yeah, for this set I might as well just get off as many attacks as I can. It's not very easy to dodge. 1, 2, 3. Okay, yeah. That first phase doesn't require a ton of hits at least, so you can take him out pretty quickly. Okay, yeah. Very easy if you time your burning mode usage well enough. You can get through phase 1 well enough. Oh no, this cannot be me losing to a human. You poor man. It must be difficult to understand why you, who possess eternal life, are about to perish. Humans are granted such a precious short life in comparison to yours. But in that short time we are able to love and to live for someone else. There must have been a time when you too cherished the bond with the ones you love. We humans are not so foolish as to throw away all of that in exchange for the power you receive. There is no place in this world for the likes of you. You were already defeated when you accepted the power of the darkness. It's so odd how this game has more, like, direct story and cutscenes in it than I think any other Castlevania game so far, period. Maybe Rondo of Blood. I guess Rondo of Blood had its cutscenes, but even then, it had, I feel like, less than this game. Ha 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 ha. Don't let it go to your head, girl. Do you really think the likes of you can destroy me? You're a fool just as Alucard was. Listen to me. Darkness will never die out as long as there is a light in the world. I am the ruler of that darkness, and I will rise again and again, as long as people like you are alive. Again and again, I tell you. Ha ha ha. When that happens, someone will appear before you to take my place. If it is my fate to again be a vampire hunter, I will be ready. No, I will gladly accept that destiny. So, until your soul is saved, until all of the evil desires in the world are exhausted, goodbye, ruler of evil. Goodbye, O woeful prince of darkness. I don't think I can quite match the hammy voice acting of Symphony of the Night, but I can at least try. That game was very nothing. I don't know. Most of that game was kind of just boring. I hate to say it, but this is definitely the easiest Castlevania in the series. For the first half of the game, I barely even used Burning Mode, yet still got through pretty much everything with no challenge. Second half was a bit more difficult, but even then, anytime there was the slightest challenge, Burning Mode just instantly ended it. Like, it's all very short. I did have trouble with the final boss, but that's every Castlevania game. It's not exactly rare for the final boss to be a little bit difficult, and even as far as Castlevania final bosses go, that was one of the easier ones. I just kind of got impatient after having to do the last few rooms over and over, and the near requirement for Burning Mode in the second half just because of knockback. Although once you actually learn both Dracula Phase's parents, I'd imagine it's still pretty fucking easy. But yeah, not a very difficult game. Not a very interesting one either, though, unfortunately. A very boring one. But yeah, next, we're not done quite yet. That did take longer than expected, but I do still also want to do Castlevania Resurrection, which, for anyone who doesn't know, was a cancelled Dreamcast game that isn't, I don't know if it was meant to be a sequel to Legends exactly, but it did still star Sonia Belmont as the protagonist, and that game had a demo that was leaked a few years ago, and I want to try that out. It's not a very long demo. I think that'll be like a 15-minute part to kind of end the stream off with, but the stream probably will still not pass the 30-hour mark even with that, but I do want to finish that on top of this. The end. Yeah, not a great game, but could have been worse. It's not like it's the worst Castlevania game I've ever played or anything. Just a very mediocre, not very challenging, not very interesting one. I think that largely comes down to Burning Mode. Anytime there was a challenge, it just kind of felt like, well, if I die, I get sent back to the same or the very previous room, even with a continue. And I get a Burning Mode charge every time I die, so it was just too easy to abuse, which, you know, I could just not do that. It's not exactly a very difficult thing to just avoid doing. It's not exactly like the game requires me to cheese every fight, but when it's available, it does feel like I might as well. Very quick BRB to refill some of my water, and more importantly, to set up the next game. Yeah, BRB very quickly. Okay, I am back. Yeah, this is not gonna be very long. We are mostly near the end of the stream, but I do want to try out Castlevania Resurrection, the demo. The category is gonna stay Legends though, because there is no big surprise. There's no Twitch category for a canceled Dreamcast game. Big surprise. Who would have guessed? I know I wouldn't have. But yeah. Already booted it up. It is. There's no like menu or anything. It just goes directly to this. But you can see you can move around. Yeah. So this was a not exactly successor to Legacy of Darkness /64 exactly. Like, sort of was, I guess. It's another 3D Castlevania. And this was a canceled game. It was the protagonist, as you can see, is Sonia Belmont, the same protagonist as Legends. And this was originally supposed to be a Dreamcast game, but it got canceled because the Dreamcast was not very successful. And development on this game took long enough that by the time they were even far enough in to make this demo for E3 originally, the Dreamcast was kind of already dying. So this game did not get finished. But this demo did leak online a few years ago, so it's at least something that's cool. It feels very jank, by the way. Like, it's hard to describe, but like, everything except camera repositioning. Camera repositioning, for some reason, is almost instant, although you don't control it with a stick. You control it with a single button press. But everything else, your whip, jumps, all have a fucking massive delay. Like, not even a normal amount of delay, like, it is nearly a full second. For every whip hit, every jump, all of it. Any of those attacks require nearly a full second of delay before they actually go through. I guess I can't damage these guys. Again, this is a unfinished demo. I think the estimated like amount that they were done with the game was like 25% or something. Like, they were still pretty far from being done with this game. There was not a lot of progress made on it, unfortunately. And it's pretty obvious, I think, though. There's a lot about this so far that makes it very obvious that this is not just a demo, but a really early demo. Yeah, I don't think I can actually finish the stage. There's like a key icon at the top right, but I don't think there's actually a key to collect. I know there's a debug menu. It should be. Okay, yeah. This. We'll go. Let's see. Okay, it just takes me to that. Okay, this is all just taking me back to this stuff. I think the game itself reset. I think clicking that may have crashed the game. But we're back in now. Luckily it did instantly reset, but yeah, it's not the most stable. Big surprise. But there are more stages than just the courtyard. These stairs, as they're called. Few little platforming objects. They had spikes on them, so I assume in like in a finished version, those probably would have done damage to you. I just had to jump over them. In this, they didn't. You just walk on top of them. The environment look pretty nice. It does look like, even like I know Dreamcast games, you know, were a bit limited. Of course, it's the Dreamcast, the console from like the fucking 2000, but it does kind of look a bit limited even by Dreamcast standards. I think it looks closer to an N64 game than a Dreamcast game. Yeah, the environments are decently well designed though. It's just very low poly models, even for the Dreamcast. But they were probably just placeholders for the most part. Got the stretched stained glass texture. Those do not look like they are meant to be at all. Yeah, this one, if this had been fully finished, that would have been pretty cool. As is though, like, this isn't even a game. This is a... Let's go, I can walk on the bottomless pits. Any secrets around here? I wonder if they put in any secrets for any crafty little demons walking around the bottomless pits. Oh, did the game crash? I think it did. Yeah, I think the game like fully crashed that time. Going to guess that does not like when you, oh shit, again. Oh no, my Warriors All-Stars achievements, fuck. I don't really give a shit if that shows up, but yeah, I guess you can't select that stage, otherwise the game crashes. Bringing it back up now though. Why is it now showing why is it now showing Steam instead of the actual game? I think it may have broken itself. Let me really quickly see if I can fix this. Oh. I don't know why now it just doesn't want to capture the emulator at all. Luckily, none of my friends are visible through that. Wow. For whatever reason, OBS now does not want to capture my emulator. So, and there is one more stage that I can actually load into. So, yeah, one of them just crashes the game. There is another like actual stage I can go into, so I would like to get it working. That would be quite nice. Okay, now should be capturing, maybe. Is it? Okay, now it's working fine. It's a demo. This is very clearly, like I said, this is not an actual full game. This is just a canceled demo for a game. I don't know why I entered back into that one. I meant to click the chapel, but clearly it does not. It does not play nice when you select the corridor. Okay, now Now I'll make sure to select the actual correct one. But yeah. This one's definitely interesting. Like, there's realistically not a ton to say about it. It's not even a full game. Like, this is just a little side thing. But there is one more real stage, and it's this one. And just going off of the 2 seconds of being in here, it definitely looks nicer than the other ones. I think this is probably the nicest looking stage. The kind of red lighting. Not what I would have expected from an early demo. Definitely not bad though. It looks quite nice. Okay, the enemies take enough damage that I'm just gonna walk through them, but still very small, of course. It is just an unfinished single stage, but this does feel like probably the most finished of the stages in terms of visuals specifically. Like if this were in a final game, obviously like hit collision and stuff with the lava, and probably the enemy placement would need to be changed a bit. But in terms of just the visuals of the stage, this does feel like the most complete out of all of them so far. If this were in a final game, there was a stage that looked like this, I don't think I'd be very confused at why it looked so primitive. This looks pretty complete. And yeah, that's everything. That is all that is available in the game. It is just these couple of stages. It's cool, it's neat. I did want to check it out, though. I didn't have very high expectations for this. It isn't even an actual full game, but I think if this had been fully finished, assuming they fixed some control issues, like the massive delay on using your whip and jumping, like made the delay instant instead of a full fucking second. I think that's the biggest problem I have with this, is just that. I think if they fix that, then I think this could have been an interesting enough game. You know, it's hard to judge like any kind of level design stuff based on just something that's not even fucking close to being finished, but in terms of just basic controls, aside from the delay, it's not bad. I could see this being an alright game had it been finished. So yeah, really all there is. Like, it's a demo, a very short one. But yeah, that's everything. That's the end of the stream. I don't have any other games planned for today. Next stream will most likely be another Warriors All-Stars stream. The next Castlevania specific stream will probably be, let me look at the list again, just one more time. I have a list set to the side of which ones are left. So in terms of classic Vanias, we have Chronicles, Adventure Rebirth, Dracula X, the SNES game specifically, Dracula X Chronicles, the PSP remake of Rondo of Blood and Symphony of the Night. Well, actually, I think it's just a remake of Rondo of Blood, but you can unlock the original Symphony of the Night. Haunted Castle, which is debatable whether that even counts as a classic Vania since it's like an arcade game, but that one I probably won't play for quite a while though, because I want to play the original and Revisited back to back, and those are in a collection that I have not bought yet. And I probably won't for a while because that's mostly a Metroidvania collection. I'll probably end up playing Haunted Castle around the time that I get to the Metroidvanias. Castlevania 64, of course, and by extension, Legacy of Darkness. I'll probably play both separately, even though I know that they're basically just a remake of the other. Lament of Innocence and Curse of Darkness are other 3D ones. And in terms of just Castlevania and just the non-Metroidvania games, that's really all that's left. Surprisingly, we have went through almost every game in the series, which is neat. It's very cool. But yeah, that is the end of the stream. It was a relatively short one. Legends did take longer than I expected, but still not that long. But yeah, next stream will most likely be Wednesday, and it will probably be Warriors All Stars. So bye bye everyone. Have a very nice day, and see you in a couple of days. Bye bye. Bye.